The dais cannot be complete without the heart of today's event. A very quick profile on the author. He is a Saudi-born Indian author hailing from the beautiful city of Hyderabad. His schooling was from International Indian Public School, Riyadh, or most popularly known as Saga. He pursued his electronics and instrumentation from Mohammed College of Engineering and Technology. He works as a project manager in an Italian company called Comrade. It is a company that specializes in technical assistance to all. Wow. And I asked the author, what's the best way we can ever support him? And he always says that reading his book will suffice him. Lend your support by tweeting with hashtag book launch, hashtag the Nucle Saga, read it, share it on social platforms like Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, etc. Let's do some legwork to promote our author. Now we will have a quick question and answer session. I encourage the audience to ask the author or the dignitaries any questions as long as it is related to the book.
Mohammed Abdul Samad, could you be kind enough to pass on the mic to the audience so they may ask me any questions they desire?
Sure. Yes. Does anyone? Can you? Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much, Saif. It's nice to be here. If you could read Nucle Saga 2. It's almost, you said, around 6 years or 7 years.
Yes.
Was there any particular reason or were you so occupied with some other work?
Well, there are several factors because the reason why the book was delayed. And it's been 6 years, so it's been quite a long time. And these factors, number one, it starts with my engineering. When I was an engineering student, it was an emphasis on practicality, and this comes in the realm of creativity. And practicality and creativity do not exactly gel well. So when I was an engineering student, my mind was conditioned in such a way that I had to look at practicality. This was one factor. The other factor is that there was this amazing response for my first book during the launch, and suddenly it died down, as if the fans of my first book had disappeared, and this serves as a sort of discouragement for me to work on my book. There were several instances where I thought, let's just quit. Why drag this? Why prolong my suffering? Let's see how it goes. The other reason, one of the most strongest, is when I wrote my first book, I was just a child. I was a teenager.
Exactly.
And I was very naive. I didn't see the world. But from my first book to my second book, a lot of things happened in my life. I completed my education. I started working. I got married. I went to a pilgrimage. And these things, they all came up. And that meant less commitment, less time for my literary activities.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's fantastic.
Question from the audience.
Assalamu alaikum.
Well, sorry.
Like you said, you were a teenager, an engineering student when you first wrote the first installment, and then from that time, since then, you have 6 years have passed, and you are now an employed working man.
Yeah.
So, did the plot of Nucle Saga change in any way? Because the perspective, your creativity also changed as you grow. So, have you rethought or have rewritten any of the original thought points?
Absolutely. I saw that fragments of my work were scattered around. So I took up an endeavor to compile all my information into one singular volume or a bibliography. And once I had done that, I had to rewrite my entire work again. Because if you may not know about this, but the second book contradicts the theme of the first book. The theme of the first book was a traditional good versus evil theme. But my second book says, hold your horses. No, it's not so simple. You cannot paint everything white and black. There will always be areas, gray areas. You cannot classify, you cannot judge. And each character is a hero in their own story. A lot of background stuff happened in their past to make them who they are. And this is something very interesting for me to write. Of course, I leave it at the discretion of the readers to see how the tone of the book has changed and so on. They are the judges and not me, because I am the one who wrote it. So maybe my opinion about my own book might be biased. Thank you. Welcome, Saga.
Which character do you relate to the most?
All of them have some of my traits. If you have read my book, you may know that there is the two twins, the Gladiatorian twins. I tend to familiarize myself, relate myself more with the characters indoor, and he's taking up a central role in the second book. Like, for instance, some of my characters of my book are based on real persons. Like Commander Europer, the sword in her head, is based on my best friend Mohammed Abdul Samad. So he has been a source of inspiration regarding this character. And every character is somehow related to me. It's very difficult for me to explain. It's like I created them. And somehow when they go through some emotional response or they're going through some circumstances, I can completely understand that, I can completely correlate that. But to answer your question in short sentence, I relate myself mostly with Zindor. The reason is because he's very thoughtful, he's very emotional, and he thinks a lot, and that's how I am. Thank you.
We would like to know how long this saga would continue.
Well, it's going to take a long time, and I would rather not put a time frame to it, because as I said before, it's a creative process, and I cannot gauge of how long each multi-processor, the small processor, will take place, because writing a book is just one part of the equation. You have to edit it, you have to see that it's going through all the standards, you have to format the book, you have to apply for copyright, and each of these small portions take up their own time. I'll give a very small example. For example, my first book's copyright came in 3 months. Just 3 months when I applied for it. For my second book's copyright, it came after 9 months. So these are processes which are dependent on external factors that we cannot make a judgment. But as for your question, I will do my best in trying to complete them. I'll also make a very quick announcement here, and the announcement is that the third book will be the last book in the Nucle Saga series. And this is what I want to tell you all and share with you all today. The reasons is that I do not want to drag the story. I want it to be very original, very authentic, and it's very important for me to conclude it in a satisfactory tone. And this is the reason why this series, which was supposed to be a pentalogy, will be a trilogy. Of course, there will be, what I have thought is to have a supplementary book which is in parallel to the events that are taking place in 1, 2 and 3. But I don't know how that project will go. Right now I am working on my third book. I'm almost 1/4 way of it, and let's see how it goes. Thank you.
नॉवेल लिखने का सोचा कैसे, ख्याल कैसे आया आपको? क्योंकि आप प्रोफेशनली आप इंजीनियर हैं और आपका ताल्लुक अदब से बिल्कुल नहीं, लिटरेचर से बिल्कुल नहीं है, तो कैसे आपने शुरू किया? छोटी छोटी स्टोरीज से शुरू किया या आपने एकदम नॉवेल लिखना शुरू किया? कैसे ख्याल आया आपको? आप कब से आपके जहन में ये चल रहा था कि आपको कुछ लिखना चाहिए, ताकि आने वाली जनरेशन को ये पता चले कि कितनी ये आसान नहीं है क्रिएटिविटी और लिखना आसान नहीं है। तो जब तक आपका जहन उस तरफ राग़िब न हो, ये बहुत मुश्किल काम है। तो मैं तो पहले आपको सबसे दिल से मैं मुबारकबाद पेश करती हूँ कि आपने ये बहुत बड़ा काम किया नई बचत के लिए। और दूसरी बात ये है कि यहाँ पता नहीं कितने नौजवान मौजूद हैं जो आपके नक्शे कदम पर चलना चाहेंगे। और ये नावल आपने जो दो किस्तों में पेश किया है, कि आपने कभी कोशिश की है कि इसको दूसरी ज़बानों में भी ट्रांसलेट किया जाए? इसको आप कोशिश कीजिए कि नावल्स को दूसरी ज़बानों में भी उसका तर्जुमा किया जाए। तो
I'll try to answer your question in the shortest way possible. This is the number one factor of why I'm standing before you all today. If you read a lot of books, it starts to cultivate your mind. It plants the seeds of imagination in your head, and that's how things start. Now, when I started reading books, and I started taking parts in creative writing competitions, and that's when my school teachers encouraged me, go for it, you're winning the first prize, why don't you apply for inter-school competitions and so on. And this form of positive encouragement and reading in the first place makes one write. So this is what I want to share to all of the youngsters here. If you want to write, read a lot.